Hey there guys, you're watching This Side Up for StealthyBox.com with me, Jemma Morgan, bringing you the day's news and previews for all things PlayStation 4. Today's Wednesday the 26th of November and Ubisoft have discovered that maybe releasing a broken game is not the best business decision. So today Ubisoft have released a new patch for Assassin's Creed Unity which contains over 300 game fixes. Think about that now, guys. 300. I think that's a pretty good indicator for how broken the game was. So, as you know, the game was released 2 weeks ago, was it? And it was pretty much just written off because the game was totally unplayable. You guys have seen the videos of people falling through the world. They're unable to complete missions. You've seen the pictures of the guys with their teeth out and their eyes out. It's pretty scary. But yeah, they've released over 300 fixes for the game now. And it fixes stuff like matchmaking, AI, HUD, different gameplay problems. You know, the game was pretty broken, and the fact that it's having over 300 fixes in this latest patch is pretty shocking as to the state of it. But Ubisoft are trying to make amends now. Not only are they fixing the game technically, they've also come out and said they've made an apology today to say, guys, we are so sorry that we have released the game in such a shoddy way, and it wasn't ready for. They're admitting that it probably wasn't ready for release, and by this, what they're doing, they have decided with this apology to say that all the season pass is now gone, and everybody who purchases Assassin's Creed Unity will get the DLC Dead Kings for free. But if you did buy the season pass, you will get a free Ubisoft game. So the games include Watch Dogs, Rayman, Far Cry 4. You know, just a lot of, high quality Ubisoft games. Now, I think this just goes to show that this debacle has really hurt Ubisoft's reputation. A lot of people just didn't want anything to do with the company anymore. They were calling them the new EA. And, you know, if you know anything about EA, that's a pretty damning title. So you can see how much damage this has done to their company, you know, and I personally thought I really want to play this game, but not when it's in such shoddy condition. And I think it's put a lot of people off buying the game. But at least they're trying to make it up to their fans now. They're trying to say, guys, we are very sorry for releasing such a broken product. So here's free DLC, and if you bought the season pass, here's a free game as well. So they're fixing the game through the patches and they're giving you free DLC. I can imagine that might not be enough for some people. Maybe Ubisoft's reputation's been damaged permanently. We don't know, but at least this is a good lesson for publishers to not rush out games until they are ready for release, because it's just going to affect your business in such a terrible way in the future. Okay, so enough negativity now. Push the negativity away. So, I decided today, as I've been playing a lot of Dragon Age Inquisition, I've been absolutely adoring the game so far. I've still not gotten too far ahead in it, but I decided to do a roundtable discussion with other players of the game. I asked around on Twitter if anybody would like to come on the show, have a chat about the game, what they're liking, what they're not liking, what class, spec, race they're playing, you know, just to see how other people are enjoying the game as I'm enjoying it so much. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the roundtable discussion, and please tell me what you think afterwards.
And today we have got a special edition. I am talking to 4 guests today, and we're going to be discussing what we like about Dragon Age Inquisition. So, hi everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hiya.
So, Theo, how are you enjoying the game so far?
Oh, I'm really enjoying it. I like the story. I like the characters. I think BioWare did a pretty decent job with the the dynamics, and I love that they brought back the group banter, because some of the stuff that, especially if you have the standard party of Cassandra, Varric, and Solus, just some of the stuff that they talk about is comedic and can be pseudo-philosophic as well at times.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, you go ahead, Tori.
no, I was just thinking about Cassandra's comment about how about the Grand Divide not believing about the chest hair.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. I just got to that today, and
Yeah.
that did make me laugh. That was some very grand chest hair. I was really impressed by it.
I
It
was
like,
just-
cool.
I was just staring at. I'm like, oh my maker, this is better than DA2 already.
Yeah, it was like, wow, that's really cool. So, Paul, how far have you gotten in the game so far?
Well, I've just got to Redcliffe Castle, and I've been working my way through the missions leading up to that. But I'm kind of stopped at the moment.
Yeah? How come? What's stopping you?
Well, I think I've ran into my first bug.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Tori was telling me that on the PC she's had quite a lot of bugs. How far have you gotten, Jonathan?
I've gotten all the way up to Skyhold, and I've cleared almost everything in the entire Ferelden region. And I've been kind of working my way into, I can't remember the name of that side. It's the French side.
Orly?
Yeah, Orlais, the Orlesian side. But I'm trying to build up. I've been building on all my relationships with all my characters because I want to make sure that they all stay and they're loyal. So I also have been enjoying the backstories and the relationships and all that kind of stuff. And I've been I chose to romance what's her name,
Cassandra?
yeah, Cassandra.
She's awesome. I love Cassandra so far.
Yeah.
I got to admit, her accent is really appealing to me. It's so when I get a chance to romance her, I think I might be doing the same thing.
It's I can't romance her because she looks just like my sister and even behaves like her.
Oh, really? Oh,
They
no.
have the same cheekbones and nose style. It's just like, oh my gosh, BioWare, have you met my sister? And I've shown people the comparison, and they were just like, oh my gosh, that's Cassandra. And
She's
so
a-
it's like,
Oh, wow.
she's not into cosplay. And I think if I showed my picture, if she knew I showed her picture online, she would kill me.
Oh, she is very cool. I really am enjoying Cassandra. So, Theo, what class are you playing at the moment? What race and what spec?
I'm doing a Kunari rogue that is a dual wielder. I've pretty much since Origins I did a dual wielding rogue, so I figured stick with the formula. And I'm doing down the dual wield tree and the stealth tree.
Yeah, are you enjoying that so far?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's give me all the damage and the dots you can.
Yeah, it looked really interesting, the rogue. I liked the idea of was it the alchemist? I'm not sure. That seemed really cool, being able to were they able to kind of freeze the target in place? Was it?
hmm Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's like the artificer with the traps, and then you have the tempest that does more elemental, from what I've read.
Right. Yeah. How about you, Paul? What have you been playing so far then?
Well, as I'm playing sort of single player, I've opted for the mage class. So I've gone for a female human mage, who I tried really hard to create to look like Jennifer Lawrence, but it's not quite worked out as I hoped. So my idea was that if I can, I'll constantly, I see that as having the most sort of flexibility to control the party, because you can always do the turn the tide of battle, as it were, if you keep some healing, and I'm concentrating on reducing the cooldowns on the lower spells with the fire and the lightning. So rather than going for the super weapon and try to get up that tree as fast as possible, I'm actually concentrating just on keeping the cooldowns as low as I can, so I can get into the fight that much more.
Yeah.
And that's been working well for me.
So you've just been more like going for a more supportive role as opposed to full on damage, which is that's what I tend to be doing at the moment, because I'm playing a female dwarf tank, and I really like the idea of being able to protect my party. How about you, Tori? What are you playing at the moment?
I am playing a human noble female rogue archer class. I enjoy the distance, and what I try to do is try to do the trickster route.
Yeah,
Which is
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really fun actually, because sometimes you can do close combat and there's a lot of flying.
Yeah, I've noticed when I've been playing with the Templar enemies in Redcliffe, I've just noticed that they tend to do so much damage against you. I think ranged attacks are very powerful in the game so far. So, Jonathan, what have you been playing?
I have been playing a male human mage, and the skill trees that I focused on was the electricity one and the fire, but I also have a bunch of points in the it's the support one. It's to do with
Green.
yeah,
The spirit tree.
The green one, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just going for full out damage, just melting faces, going all out until nothing is left in your wake, pretty much.
Yeah, so what I basically do is I like to have a lot of, so I'm a damage dealer, and then I always have another mage, and then I have a rogue type character that has a bow, because later on I unlocked the ability to be able to have rogues, all rogues can unlock master locks, so they can get into the rooms that I need to do. And then I have a tank in there. So we just basically blast through everything. We just toast it all. So so depending on the mission, I have one mage that is a lot of damage, but I have another mage that is real strong support class, and they can actually do their share of damage, but they're really good at, because sometimes I need to do more damage, but sometimes I need to do more healing, you know. So
Yeah.
So
I get you, yeah.
So
It's all about the versatility.
yeah, but I always want to make sure that in any situation I can like shoot people down fast. So for me, you know, I've never been into the rogue class because it's just a lot of moving around. For me,
Yeah,
I
no, I understand.
around and trying to duck out of stuff and then stealth away and that kind of stuff. Me, I like to stand from a distance. Like in World of Warcraft, I always play typically hunter or mage or warlock or something like that. So
Yeah, so you love the idea of being able to melt faces from a distance.
Yeah.
So, guys, with this version of with Dragon Age Inquisition, it tends to be a bit more kind of action based. I know you can do the tactical side of it, which is more like Baldur's Gate, a bit more like Dragon Age Origins, but it seems more orientated towards action gameplay. So Theo, what have you been playing most? Have you been going for the kind of tactical style, or have you been going all out with action?
I find it's more situational for me. Depends on the fight. If it's a really knockdown, drag-out fight, then I'll use the tac cam, absolutely, so I can see the battlefield and control it a little bit easier. You know, have more of a fine tune. But if it's one-on-one or two versus the party, then I'll go more action. It for me, it just depends on the situation.
Right. How about you, Paul? What do you find you're enjoying more at the moment? What style of gameplay?
Traditionally, for myself in the games, this kind of genre, I would always want to be the tank. If it's MMO, I always want to be the tank because I find it the most fun and I don't have to think too hard.
Not stacking that intelligence stat.
No, and so somebody else has got my back, and if I die first, then I can just tease everybody else while on the chat or whatever. But I quite like the fact that you've got the option. If I'm honest, I'd say my heart's in the going for the action. And it's only when I bottle it that I go tactical.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. How about you, Tori? What do you find you're aiming for more? Because you're a big fan of Dragon Age Origins, so were you more tempted to go towards the tactical side of it, or were you sucked into the more action style?
I've always been a fan of the more action side, though I've tried to use the tactical in more advanced situations, like when we're battling like bigger animals. Like for now, it's just bears, and when I'm dealing with big groups, usually I use it to set up the distance and to set up our tank for close range, and to also set up bombs. Mostly set up bombs.
Yeah, you like to drop the bomb.
Oh yes, I just got the bees, the jar of bees, so mayhem.
So, Jonathan, what do you think, what have you enjoyed in the game so far? What do you find has been the best thing, but also what have you found that you haven't enjoyed so much in the game?
Well, me too. I mean, I like the fact that for big fights or depending on the situation, I can use the advantage of doing the tactical thing. But lately I've mostly had to use the action type thing, but in certain fights, being able to flip on a fly to set up a strategy to be able to, defeat whatever I come across is great. They blend the best of Dragon Age 1 and the best components that I liked from Dragon Age 2. I know a lot of people were whining about Dragon Age 2, but
Oh my gosh.
I mean, a lot of people didn't like it, but I liked the story in the game, and I think there was a lot of elements in it that set up, it created a lot of interesting characters and added a lot more to the lore. I think it was just such a huge departure from what the Dragon Age 1, how it was set up, and then they went completely into the action-oriented thing, and that freaked everybody out.
May I interrupt?
Sure.
I think one reason why people didn't like Dragon Age 2 was because they were already promising with so much with Origins, they were promising another expansion pack. And then next thing, the announcement came on the BioWare forums, and they're just like, we're working on Dragon Age 2, and a lot of people felt upset because they thought that they were going to get another expansion pack first before DA2.
So, do you guys feel like there's been a good mix of action and tactical gameplay? What do you think, Paul? Do you think it's managed to balance it well?
It has. But I think more than that, you've got it's not just a collection of missions and the storyline, because you're doing it to sort of build your power base. And I quite like that aspect of it, because then you've got a thread running through the whole thing, and suddenly all the side quests matter, as opposed to being something that you just have to do to get your stats up, or get your armor, or it's suddenly there's more of a reason to do it.
Right. Yeah. So, Theo, what have you actually disliked in the game so far? Is there something you wish that BioWare had put in the game to make it more appealing to you? What do you think? What do you dislike about the game so far?
Mainly my dislikes are a little bit more on the technical side. It's just minor bugs that just pull me out of the story. Yeah, minor sound cues are off once in a while. I don't know if this is just mainly a console thing or if this was across the board with all the ports, but sometimes the sound cues get a little bit screwy. Like you'll hit something and then 3 seconds later you'll get the sound effect for it.
Yeah,
and sometimes,
right, yeah.
Sometimes the tac cam gets a little wonky as well. And it's just minor stuff like that that'll pull me out of my suspension of disbelief. Minorly.
No, I can understand. Yeah, it's those little things. I mean, I've been lucky so far that I haven't encountered very many bugs. I know, like I said, Tori was telling me that she's encountered quite a few bugs. I mean, what have you disliked so far, Tori? I mean, as you are a big Dragon Age fan, has this one been able to live up to what you've enjoyed so far with the other games in the series?
Yeah, I would say so. I was worried that weren't going to have Darkspawn in it like in the first two because it didn't start off in the blind. But recently I just encountered Darkspawn. I'm like, good. And I have a few vanity complaints about the character creator. I didn't like how all the hairstyles were unigendered, and there were a lot of bald options. It seemed like with different hairstyles to be bald most of the time. And I don't like all the bugs I'm dealing with on PC. Like, I've dealt with the sound one. I've dealt with when sometimes it'll load, it'll freeze up, and next thing you know, the screen will go white, and then you'll basically have to restart the game again and again.
Yeah, I gotta say one thing that did really bug me as well was I always find in a lot of games they never manage to do hairstyles right. There's always something a bit off about the hairstyles, and I can only ever find maybe one, and if I'm very lucky two, that I think, oh gosh, I want that. That is my style. If I don't have that, then I just throw away the game. I need that hairstyle. But I find that lots of games just do hairstyles just, I don't know. I really wish they'd employ maybe a stylist to be able to come up with a good hairstyle.
I know. I'm sorry.
Those are awful.
Yeah, but it's medieval here.
I mean, there's only a few good hairstyles in the game.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's what I have to say. That was one of my big thing, and the big thing was that I found that the load times were really long, like super long. And I can see why they put those playing card things so you have something to read while you're waiting for the next pop up.
Yeah, the loading time is giving me DAO flashbacks when you be waiting and you just get the circle loading and loading.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I gotta say though, guys, the load times aren't great, but they are miles better than Destiny, because I find I'm sitting there and I can go make a cup of tea and I can go get a mince pie or something, and by the time I come back it's just finished loading. So guys, I want to know one last thing. I'd love to know have you enjoyed the game so far? Would you recommend it to other people? Theo, what do you think? What do you say some of the positive things of the game been so far?
I mean, the story is key to me. I mean, if a game doesn't have a good story, then I get bored really easily, and it'll sit on the side and gather dust. But yes, I would definitely recommend this game, especially after the ACU fiasco. This is heads and shoulders way above that.
Yeah. How about you, Paul? What's the things that you've really enjoyed about the game, and would you recommend it?
Well, I love the story. I think gameplay's fine. Like I said, I've got a bug in the sort of main quest, so I don't know. I think I'm 50-50 on whether I'd recommend it at this point. But if patches come out and fix it, fine.
Right.
Then I would definitely give it a thumbs up after that.
How about you, Jonathan? What have you enjoyed so far in the game, and would you recommend it?
I loved everything about the game. I don't really have other than the hairstyles, I don't have any problems about it. If you're a person that likes to explore, dig up lore, build relationships, build up whole empires, and it's the kind of game where depending on your choices, you can play it again and again and again, so it's got a long replay value. I can't see, if you've got the equipment or the machine that can play it, it should be a game that should be on everybody's list if you're into role-playing games.
Fantastic. That's a glowing endorsement. And I'll give the last word to Tori. What have you enjoyed, and would you recommend the game?
What I've enjoyed the story a lot as well, and the exploring. I've actually been in the Hinterlands for 10 hours straight.
Oh wow!
I'm one of the people which the BioWare producers probably tweeted and said, "Get out of the Hinterlands and continue the story." The joke, because in DAT, all the dungeons were the same. It seemed like it'd be like, wait a minute, I could have sworn I explored this place before. And this game is just like, I can show you the world, baby.
So you'd recommend the game then?
Yes, and if people ask, well, do I have to play the first two first? And you can actually just do the Dragon Age Keep and create your story on there and import it into the game, luckily.
Yeah, I haven't known about that really, but it's definitely something I'll try out. Could you explain what that is for someone like me who's not too sure about it?
The Dragon Age Keep is a PC browser. It's like a PC browser, create your own story. You can make your choices on this Keep program of who your character is, who you romanced, and your decisions with both Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2. And they also, I believe, they have like this little game on there, like it's called Last Court, which is about the Orlesian nobility, and some people are having a hard time with the choices in that game.
Yeah, you can also, to add a side note, you can also import, if you play Dragon Age 1 or 2 or both or whatever, you can import the decisions you actually made in those games into that Keep thing to influence how it's going to be shaped.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot that part.
I read that and I was like, damn, I didn't keep my save games.
You don't have to.
No.
You don't have to keep your saved games in there, because if it's uploaded to the BSN, then they should have your characters on there, and you can edit it from there.
Yeah.
And also, you can use the character creator to import your Origins character onto the Keep. Just like the,
Right.
Mm-hmm, yeah, you can just. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, is that something you do after you've started, or do you have to create a new character to?
You can create a new character first. There's actually, I think they have some tutorial videos. If anyone would like a link, I can link them up.
Yep, I'll definitely put that in the bar below in the video. Right, so I'm really glad you guys have been enjoying it. I've been enjoying the game immensely so far. Even though I haven't gotten so far with the game, I keep feeling like I want to carry on further, because it just seems like there's so much to explore. Like every nook and cranny holds something to explore, something to discover. I'm very much enjoying my tank at the moment, because Dwarven Master Race and you all are apostates. So guys,
I'm a noble rogue.
I want to say, guys, thank you so much for joining me here today. I've really enjoyed having a chat with you. Thank you so much, guys. So I want to say again, thank you to Theo, Tori, Paul and Jonathan for joining me. You guys have been amazing.
All right, guys, well, that's it for today. Remember to like, comment and share this video. Please visit us at stealthybox.com. Remember to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for all your PlayStation news and reviews. And until next time, guys, happy gaming.